Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the course Management Information Systems. Today is the last lecture from this course and we're going to do the revision in this last lecture. Last lecture tak humne apna sara modules complete kar liye the and we were doing the social and ethical implications of the information systems in the society. Agar in real settings mein hote, I would have asked you that what are the topics or what are the concepts that are not well understood, to main wo cheezein repeat karti, lekin for the moment I'm going to basically repeat the concepts that were told throughout the course and in the module wise. That is कि हर module में जो भी basic concept था और जो भी उन topics को पढ़ने की वजह थी, we are going to discuss that in today's lecture. Topics की detail में ज़्यादा इसलिए नहीं जाएंगे, एक तो ये कि time नहीं होगा and दूसरा ये कि topics की detail में once जो assignments आपको दी गई हैं उसी के अंदर वो सारी detail आ गई है, so जितनी भी detail में जाएं it's always less. So in today's lecture we are going to do the revision of the course module wise कि कौन-कौन से concept थे that were the basic concept of a certain module. So starting off with the first module. First module was about the overview of the information systems in the organization. That is कि information systems जब organization में use हो रहे हैं, organization setting में use हो रहे हैं, तो वो किस तरह use हो रहे हैं और उनका क्या concept था. So first thing that we talked about the data information and we defined the information system. That is कि it's not just a composition of hardware and software databases, but it also involves the people and the procedures or the rules that they have to follow to actually make certain decisions or achieve certain organizational goals. So it is basically a setup that includes everything, even the suppliers and the customers as well as the regulatory agencies and the competitors. They all become a part of the whole information system. Right, so the next important point of this module was that the value of information is directly linked with how it helps the decision makers achieve the organizational goals. जब हम value of information की बात की थी, then we learned the importance of information, what is valuable information and why is valuable information important for the organizations. Then we said that information systems, when they give you valuable information, then they can be used in the organization to achieve the organizational goals. किस तरह that उसके हमने दो तीन चीजें पढ़ी थी, that is they achieve competitive advantage, they achieve operational excellence, they help in achieving or they help in producing different kinds of new products and services, and they're also important for a business's survival in the industry. Then the next point that was stressed upon was that socio-technical system is an approach to develop the information systems where the key point for developing an information system is learning, training and planned change. Why? Because we said that information systems jo hain, that we have to look at them from a behavioral perspective as well as the organizational perspective or as the technical perspective as well. So they not only cater to the technical needs of the organization, but they also influence the behavior of the organization as well. Right, then we said the businesses need to look at information systems from three different dimensions, that is the management, the technology as well as the organization. So which means that the information system that is deployed in the organization basically affects all the three dimensions. That means आप technology use कर रहे हैं, उसका effect organization पे क्या हो रहा है, management पे क्या हो रहा है, what is the input of management, what is the input of organization when you are having an information system in the organization. So the kind of information system deployed has effects on organizational structure, culture, change as well as business processes. That is, either the organization has to go through a certain radical change or not. So this is all dependent on the kind of information system that will be deployed in the organization. Right जी एक और point that was part of this module was that whenever the information systems are to be placed in a certain organization, then that means that people are either going to accept it or reject it, and then there were different techniques that allows for the users to accept the new system or any kind of modified system. उसमें हमने ये पढ़ा था that technology acceptance model या TAM जो है is believed to lead to higher acceptance of information system. That is, if the organization looks into this model, the technology acceptance model, अगर वो ये apply करेंगे, अगर वो change management apply करेंगे, अगर वो planned change management apply करेंगे, that means that the user acceptance model को follow करेंगे, then user acceptance जो होगी वो ज़्यादा होगी. And then in the end we learned that the information systems जो होते हैं वो different hierarchical level of the organization में different levels के ऊपर different information systems काम करते हैं depending on what is required by the organization. Either they are enterprise wide systems जो पूरे enterprise के different functional departments के अंदर information share कर रहे हैं, और there are certain information systems जो कि different operational level के ऊपर काम कर रहे हैं या different management level के ऊपर काम कर रहे हैं. So as you can see in the diagram, executive level पे executive information systems थे, senior management level के ऊपर decision support systems थे, middle management level के ऊपर management information systems, and worker or operational level के ऊपर transaction processing systems थे. So basically module 1 was all about an introduction to the information systems, what is information systems, organizations में how are they being used, and what are the ways of actually making the information system acceptable, and how the organizations can basically achieve organizational goals by using the information systems. And for this, the very important aspect of information system is valuable information. Righty, next was module 2, that was about the information technology infrastructure. And when we talk about the information technology infrastructure, इसमें हमने different चीजें पढ़ी थी, hardware, software, database system, telecommunication, as well as the security of all these technical aspects of the information systems. The पहला point जो information system infrastructure, information technology infrastructure का था was that in IT infrastructure consists of a service platform. That is कि वो सिर्फ hardware या software को encompass नहीं कर रहा, बल्कि it is also encompassing everything else that is related with it. It encompasses the database platform, it encompasses the applications, programs that are associated with the information system, with the IT management, with the other kind of services, with the training as well, with the kind of place जहाँ पे आप IT equipment रखेंगे, the kind of personnel required to take care of the equipment. So basically this service platform basically consists of everything else that is associated with the hardware and software of the information system. Right ji. Then we went into the detail of the different kinds of hardware. Why? Because the kind of hardware used in the information system needs to be in accordance with the input, output, processing and the storage requirements of the information system. So that's why we looked at different kinds of various hardware components को हमने देखा था, processing, computer processing के बारे में पढ़ा था, memory usage के बारे में पढ़ा था, input and output different devices के बारे में पढ़ा था. That means कि जहाँ भी information system को जिस किस्म की भी input output required है, that is obviously in accordance with the business goals, तो वहाँ पे उस किस्म का information system या उस किस्म के hardware component को deploy किया जा सकता है. For example, last lecture में when we were doing one of the case studies जिसमें hospital के जो nurses और clinical staff था who were not ready to spend time in doing the logging in procedure because they think that was taking a lot of time कि उनको identification enter करनी थी, password enter करना था. So what they thought was that a quicker process of doing the identification was to do the biometric input. उन्होंने finger scanners लगा दिए so that they could scan the fingers and enter the password and then they can log into the system. So then again, according to the user demands भी होता है and according to the business goals, and it was necessary for that hospital to basically have a certain authentication because they were very strict. They had a security policy about protecting the patient records. right जी. Then we talked about the different kinds of softwares, जिसमें system software भी था, application software भी था, different kinds of system softwares हमने देखे, as well as different kinds of application software देखे, as well as the ways these application softwares can be either purchased or the way they can be developed. And then we learned that system and application software again are very critical in achieving the organizational goals. Why? Because again, servers or mainframes require different kinds of system software to be installed. Application softwares again are in accordance with whatever is the requirement of the information system, or what is the requirement of the user, or what is the requirement of the organization that it can have this kind of application program. जिसमें हमने ये भी evaluate किया था कि proprietary software के फ़ायदे क्या हैं, as well as custom जो आप commercial purchase करते हैं software, उन दोनों के differences क्या हैं और फ़ायदे क्या हैं. And we learned that proprietary software जो कि custom built software होता है, जो कि special software होता है, जो एक specific company के लिए develop किया जाता है, is effective only when it meets the organizational needs. That is, अगर organization needs इतनी complex हैं that they require a certain that kind of a software, or to achieve a certain competitive advantage, because these kind of softwares are built to achieve competitive advantage. Otherwise, most of the organization need the regular processing, regular application जो कि commercially available होती हैं, and that are a bit cheaper. Instead कि अगर आप development process करते हैं, that takes a lot of time as well as a lot of money as well. Right जी. Next we had moved on to the other chapter जिसमें हमने emerging technologies के बारे में पढ़ा था. Why? Because technologies continue to grow, so businesses need to be aware of the emerging technologies as well as the trends. और जो हमने different emerging technologies और trends पढ़े थे, उसमें the very prominent one was the grid computing and cloud computing. Cloud computing again was providing different kind of services on the cloud. जिसमें number one was infrastructure as a service, that was cloud infrastructure जिसको हमने बोला था. Then there was platform as a service या cloud platform, and software as a service जिसको हमने बोला था कि cloud software है. So again यहाँ पे जो figure given है, इसमें यहाँ पर different companies के बारे में बताया गया है कि कौन कौन सी जो services हैं वो available हैं. These kind of services are available as a software service, these kind of services are available as the platform, and these are the whole infrastructure जो कि hardware और software infrastructure होता है, वो as a service दिया जा रहा है by different kinds of service providers जिनको cloud service providers बोलते हैं. So again, we looked into these kind of technologies जिनको हमने emerging technologies बोला था, so that the businesses जो नए businesses आ रहे हैं, and also you people can understand the new kinds of technologies that can be used in the information systems, or that can be used to develop the information systems for a newer generation. In fact, these kind of services are also available in Pakistan as well. Also, along with that, ये भी हमने देखा था कि when the IT infrastructure is being deployed in the organization या information system जब develop हो रहा हो, then again there are certain IT related management issues. For example, कितना spend करना चाहिए IT के ऊपर, who is responsible for the IT management, कौन कितनी चीज़ों के बारे में responsible है, etc. etc. So all these kind of issues that occur that are related with the management can be solved with the help of a competitive forces model, CFM, that can be used to solve the management issues of the IT infrastructure. So जिसमें आप जब IT information technology को implement कर रहे होते हैं, deploy कर रहे होते हैं अपने organization में, or you're getting new kind of information technology, or you're sort of evaluating your existing information technology, तो उसमें different चीज़ें आ जाती हैं जिनको देखना पड़ता है. That was mentioned in the competitive forces model. Right. Next we moved on to the next chapter जिसमें हमने databases और information management के बारे में पढ़ा था. We also looked at the data management as well. Right जी. इसमें there were basic two important points. Number one point was that the databases play a very important role in the overall effectiveness of the information systems. Information systems के लिए databases का क्या important role है, जिसको हमने देखा था when we looked at the different advantages of databases, traditional approach है database के क्या advantage और disadvantages हैं वो देखे थे. इसके अलावा we looked into the relational database as well as the database management systems associated with the relational database. So relational database के different points or how does it make managing the different kinds of data easier, and how database management systems again provide different kinds of functionalities and different kinds of techniques to manage the data and to manipulate the data so that it can be stored, it can be manipulated easily. So again we looked into these kind of topics that were related with the advantages of the database and the database management systems. Why? To make it clear that how databases play a very important role in the overall effectiveness of the information systems. Right, the next important point from this chapter was that the businesses use various techniques to maximize the value of information. जो भी information उनको मिल रही है, they use different techniques to make it more valuable or to maximize the value of the information provided from those databases, which are in turn, that information is then in turn used to make different decisions or to run operations in a better way. Again, there were various techniques for doing that, जिसमें data warehousing थी. इसके अलावा there was a concept of data intelligence, जिसमें दो चीज़ें very important थी, that was data mining and analysis, which was online analysis, as well as web and text mining. So all of these techniques that were mentioned in the database chapter basically prove the point कि जो businesses हैं वो ये different techniques use कर सकते हैं so that they can manipulate the information that they get from the database in a better manner. And business intelligence again was one of the ways of how the businesses can basically use that information by the help of different tools and techniques to get valuable information, and with that information they can make proper or good decisions from that information. Right. Third important point from this chapter was that maintaining the data quality is the biggest challenge, and while you are maintaining the database, it's very important to maintain the data integrity of the data that is present in the databases. Data integrity means that it should be accurate, it should be complete, and it should be making sense. Whatever the information that you are getting, that the data should be checked at the point of entry as well, so that to reduce any kind of data errors. That's why database management systems provide different functionalities, and you can also program different kind of functionalities in the DBMS so that different kinds of data errors जो आ रहे होते हैं at the time of entry, they are reduced, so as to improve the data integrity, that is the accuracy, the completeness and the effectiveness of the data. Right, next chapter था हमारे पास, that was about the telecommunications and networking, and उस चीज़ के क्या फ़ायदे थे पढ़ने के is again because for any kind of business, networking and telecommunications support to have that holds a lot of importance as well, because businesses need to do a lot of communication. उसमें suppliers के साथ communication, employee के साथ communication between managers, again communication or transfer of data from one place to another holds a lot of importance. So with the help of telecommunications, again had a lot of applications in the business world as well. For example, creating small business networks, or larger business networks, for example client server networks, client server architecture use कर रहे हैं या किसी किस्म का भी architecture use कर रहे हैं. Again, it's also important for small businesses as well. अगर वो small business हैं, again they can use the same kind of hardware that is required for the telecommunication, routers, modems, etc. या wireless access point, इस किस्म के different devices use करके वो small network भी create कर सकते हैं. It also gives the possibility of electronic data interchange, that is creating communication between the organization and the suppliers, and also electronic funds transfer, again which is a basic networking application that is used for funds transfer from one bank to another, and ATM again is based on this kind of networking technology. Also there are different applications that are provided by the network telecommunications is the video conferencing as well as distance learning, jo ke that is happening here as well. And then when we were talking about the telecommunications and networks, then there was a very important service of the internet that was called the World Wide Web. So internet or World Wide Web together again form a very basis of communication, because it allows different kinds of e-commerce as well, it allows different kinds of m-commerce as well. And there were other number of applications provided by the internet and the web, for example the voice over IP, for example different kinds of internet services जिसमें email, instant messaging, news groups वगैरह आ जाते हैं. Then there was content streaming, that with the help of internet you can stream the different kinds of media content. Also it provides the file transfer protocol as well as different जो कि e-commerce की बात की थी तो उसमें web shopping and web auctioning भी आ जाता है. So again बेसिक मकसद था इस सारे चैप्टर के बारे में बताने का, आपको टेलीकम्युनिकेशंस के डिफरेंट हार्डवेयर सॉफ्टवेयर, टेलीकम्युनिकेशन के फिजिकल मीडियम के बारे में बताने का, वायरलेस मीडियम के बारे में बताने का, डिफरेंट स्टैंडर्ड्स और प्रोटोकॉल्स के बारे में बताने का. यही मकसद था दैट दीज काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स अगेन कैन बी यूज्ड इन द इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम to achieve a certain business goal. If the organization goal requires that, या यूजर रिक्वायरमेंट्स इस तरह की हैं कि आपके जो एम्प्लॉयज हैं वो डिफरेंट जगह पे लोकेटेड हैं एंड दे नीड टू कम्युनिकेट, देन अगैन यू कैन हैव वायरलेस कम्युनिकेशन और यू कैन हैव डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ मोबाइल कम्युनिकेशन, और you could use the internet and the web for different communication and collaboration. So again according to the business need, according to the or user need of that information system, these kind of technologies again can be used to build up that information system. Right, when we're talking about the technology, then we cannot ignore the security aspect of this technology. So that's why we were studying the chapter of information system security. Is basically the concept of it was to understand the vulnerabilities of the systems. For example, कि जो system होता है, information system होता है, वो उसके different weaknesses भी हैं. और वो weaknesses इसलिए create होते हैं because of different kinds of security breaches, because there are जो information systems में hardware use हो रहा है that can have breakdowns. किसी भी वजह से उसका breakdown हो सकता है, either उसकी installation सही नहीं हुई, either there is some certain kind of a natural disaster that has affected the hardware. So there are different reasons for hardware breakdowns as well. Also अगर आपका जो business इस तरह का है, there are certain business processes that have been offshored as well, then again उसमें फिर vulnerability आ जाती है because you are communicating with different people and you do not have the control over the hardware and the software being used there. Again information system की vulnerability can come through different kinds of mobile phones and smartphones. Why? Because they're portable, and because of the portability एक तो ये problem होता है that they can be stolen easily. दूसरा ये because of the application programs that are written for these mobiles, जिनको हम mobile app बोलते हैं या phone apps बोलते हैं, these can again have certain kind of malicious softwares और उनको install करना it's very easy. So that's why आपके जो systems में जो breaches create हो जाते हैं या weak points create हो जाते हैं, that you have to understand that information systems have a lot of weak points as well. And these kind of vulnerabilities या weak points जो हैं, these increase with the use of internet and wireless communications. Again, because internet is not something that is controlled by any organization. So whenever you're using the internet, you're basically entering that wide world of the internet, जिसमें you're getting the emails from different people, you're getting spammed emails as well. If you're just clicking on a link, you're opening any kind of website, then you don't know कि उसमें कौन सा third party program चल रहा है on that website, या किस किस्म का spyware चल रहा है, या और कोई इस किस्म का malicious software चल रहा है जो आपके system में install हो रहा है. Right, so which means that there are numerous kind of malicious softwares available on the internet as well, जो कि travel करते हैं through the internet as well, या आपके different devices के through copy हो जाते हैं, either viruses, Trojan horse या worms वगैरह. Then there are different kinds of hacking techniques that people use. Identity theft होती हैं. इसके अलावा there is different kinds of computer crime and computer abuse that greatly sabotage or greatly affect the system or harm the systems. Again, computer crime हमने define किया था as something that if a person is involved in a computer crime, that means he's either using the computer to do a certain crime, or he is doing a crime, or he is sabotaging some other kind of system. So that is all included in the computer crime. Raji, so because of all these softwares, programs available, and because of all these security breaches, and because of all these security problems, we stressed upon the fact that businesses need to develop certain frameworks for security and control, and also deploy tools and techniques to enforce security policies. So the first point is framework. For example, the organizations need to develop a certain kind of security policy, and once they have that certain kind of security policy, they need to implement or enforce that security policy with the help of different tools and techniques. Again, जिस तरह उस hospital की example थी जिसमें nurses even though clash आ रहा था of the need of the user requirement as well as the security policy of the company, lekin that clash was resolved again by the help of usage of technology. So again, different tools and techniques can be used by the organizations to implement those security policies. Also, they need to do different kinds of risk assessment as well. For example, again, if they want to implement a certain kind of technology in the organization, again they need to do the risk assessment of a certain technology. इस technology के आने से फायदे कितने हो रहे हैं, नुकसान कितने हो रहे हैं, or what are the ways of actually making the system more secure as well. So again, this thing is very important, and it's very important for the businesses as well, because if the businesses do not pay attention to the security, then इनके security lapses जो होते हैं, that can greatly affect the performance of the business and the reputation of the business as well, and they can actually lose a lot of share in the market because of any kind of a security breach. Right, so if you remember, we were doing a case study जिसमें हमने Salesforce को software as a service का platform जब हम देख रहे थे Salesforce का, तो उसमें भी Salesforce did have two breaches. One was a security breach, another was sort of a hacking of some sort. So उसकी वजह से उस company को थोड़ा बहुत नुकसान हुआ था, and the people were not ready to accept that company fully unless and until they went through a complete overhaul and changed their systems and changed the way they were working as well. So it's very important for the organizations that once they have the information system in the organization, they have to also look for ways to implement different security policies as well. That's why in the end when we were doing the information systems development का design के बारे में जब हम पढ़े थे, उसमें भी along with the user interface design, we also learned that the security design and the security and control design of the information system is also important. कि जो security के features थे वो design specifications में ही डाल दिए गए थे, so that you can stop different kinds of security breaches from happening, and also doing the disaster planning and disaster recovery management as well, because again natural disasters की वजह से भी जो problem आते हैं, that can again affect the information system. Right, next module 3 was about different kinds of business information systems again, which means we looked at we started from looking at the e-commerce and m-commerce. When e-commerce was being used as an information system or was being part of the information system, उसके क्या advantages थे और वो किस तरह achieve कर सकते हैं businesses. From that we'll moved on to the different kinds of information systems that are working and on the enterprise-wide level as well as different management levels as well. Right, the first point of this module was emphasized that the business should know the uniqueness and the advantages of the e-commerce while knowing different ways to do e-commerce. That means कि e-commerce करने के जो different business models थे वो देखे थे, as well as how to generate revenue by using e-commerce. और उसके अंदर हमने देखे थे different revenue models. That is कि different business models में किस तरह e-commerce business किया जा सकता है, either through portals or through e-tailers जिसको हमने बोला था, retailers की form है e-tailer, and then we looked at the different revenue models के किस तरह revenue generate किया जाता है by using different kinds of e-commerce websites. Right, then the very important point in the e-commerce chapter was that effective e-commerce is dependent on a successful website. That is, if you have a very successful website, if your website is working in a very good manner, then only your e-commerce business can be effective. और उस website को then we to emphasize that और उसको समझने के लिए फिर हमने आगे देखा था कि जो website को create करना है उसके अंदर different कौन सी important चीज़ें हैं, जिसमें हमने objectives, setting objectives is important, then the actual building is important, either you can build it yourself or you want to outsource it. Then the very important thing is traffic, bringing traffic to the website and maintaining the website as well as the customers of the website. So again, all of these things play a very important role in the success of the website. Right, next we moved on to the enterprise systems, and we learned that the enterprise systems basically are the kind of systems that ensure that information is shared across all business functions and at all levels of the organization. As you can see in the diagram, ERP system again is an enterprise system which has advantages. That is, if you want to implement an ERP system, तो उसको implement करने के बहुत सारे advantages हैं. So, but there are certain challenges as well, and those challenges are very much dependent on the implementation of the ERP. So the biggest challenge is that what if the implementation fails? अगर proper planning नहीं की हुई तो implementation might fail. Then you have to be aware that when you are implementing the ERP, that might take from 3 to 5 years depending on कि आप कौन कितने modules अपना change करें, and because of that you have to go through a change of the business processes as well, and because of that you have to change or convert the data according to that new system as well. So basically the organization has to go through a very big amount of change. So that's why planning and change management is a very important issue when implementing any kind of ERP system. As you can see in the diagram, this ERP system में basically has different modules that cover completely the whole of the organization, from the manufacturing, the human resource, customer management, financial management, as well as the supply chain management. So again, it's up to the businesses कि वो ERP system में कौन से modules शामिल करते हैं, but on the whole it covers all of the operational working of the organization. Right, so whenever we use customer relationship management as the enterprise system in the businesses, why it's basically the business value for doing this is to provide customer satisfaction, also to acquire and retain different customers, and also meet the customers' demands on time. So the business value for having any kind of customer relationship management system in the organization is to achieve these objectives. इसके अलावा then we went into the detail of the customer management systems के उसके functions कौन से हैं. Basically 3 levels के ऊपर वो customers को देखते हैं. Different जो sales से data ले रहा होता है, marketing department से data ले रहा होता है, marketing data ले रहा होता है, as well as customer support से data ले रहा होता है. So these are the 3 different dimensions जिससे वो customer satisfaction achieve करते हैं. And then they provide this data to different kinds of customer touch points. So again, the CRM जो systems हैं, these are again built on the same functionality, that they provide support for these functionalities for gathering data and analyzing data, as well as providing data to the customer touch points. Then we also looked at the supply chain management, and we looked at the supply chain management systems. So the reason for having a supply chain management system in the organizations is if the supply chain is complex and large. So the information system or the supply chain management system is there to help the supply chain management in various different kinds of aspects. अब different kinds of aspects हैं जिनके लिए जो ये वाले systems हैं काम करते हैं, help करते हैं. उस काम को बेहतर करने की, by tracking different kinds of shipments, by tracking the status of the orders, by allowing rapid communication throughout the supply chain. And there were various different kinds of benefits that were achieved by using these supply chain management systems. Again, we went into the detail of the topics of the functionality of the different aspects of supply chain management systems as well. So again, the whole concept behind all of that was to understand that these supply chain management systems again can be used to help manage the supply chain better in a better way, especially if the supply chain is very large and very complex. जिस तरह हमने Nike की supply chain देखा था जिसमें the company had its own suppliers, but those suppliers again had their own suppliers or own suppliers के पीछे भी और suppliers थे. Again, that again depends on the kind of product that is being developed. For example, shoe की बात की थी तो shoe के अंदर जो leather आ रहा है और जो soles आ रहे हैं again या जो laces आ रही हैं तो उन suppliers के भी और suppliers थे that were providing with the thread or the rubber etc. these kind of things. Right, then we moved on to the different kinds of information systems that are working at the management level. जिसमें पहला हमने देखा था at the operational level was the transaction processing systems that are used in performing the fundamental business operations. और fundamental business operations वो थे जो कि worker level के ऊपर या operational level के ऊपर काम कर रहे थे. TPS वहाँ पे क्यों ज़रूरी है? Again, it's the kind of system that can handle data that is in a larger amount, that can handle data जो कि routine work वाला data and a data that is less complex. So the tasks there were less complex, data जो था वो बहुत ज़्यादा था और जो काम था that was routine work. So this is where the transaction processing systems work. Right, next we had the management information systems. Again, are there to help the managers at the middle management level. अब वो क्या कर रहे थे management information system? They were providing managers with the insight so that they can do their work better. उनका काम क्या था? Controlling, organizing, as well as planning the various operations in the organization. So basically, data ले रहे हैं TPS से, लेकिन output जो generate कर रहे हैं that is in the form of different kinds of reports that were beneficial for the managers so that they could well analyze what is going on at the operational level, so that they could control, plan and organize things in a better manner. Also, जो management information systems थे that were working on the functional areas, so that were based on different kinds of functional areas. For example, manufacturing management information systems थे, HR MIS. इसके अलावा we had the financial MIS. Again, the purpose of these management systems was to help the managers do their tasks and to provide different kinds of reports so that they can analyze the data in a better manner. Right, next we move on to the decision making, जिसमें हमने decision support systems as well as special systems देखे थे, like the group decision support systems as well as the executive support systems. For that, to understand the decision support system कि वो किस तरह काम करते हैं, हमने पहले जो देखा था, we looked at कि decision making होती क्या है, decision making के different steps क्या हैं. So decision making basically is a cognitive process, and why is it there? To basically solve a certain kind of problem. So decision making is pretty much like problem solving, जिसमें first step is intelligence, then choice, then design, and then first step is intelligence, then design, then choice, and then implementation. जिसमें intelligence में you're looking at the problem, then you're giving different solutions to the problem. Then choice में you're picking up one solution, and implementation में you're acting out the solution. So this is the basic way the decision making happens also in our mind as well. और इसी चीज़ को decision making systems में use करते हैं, यही वाला जो सारा concept है. So basically decision support systems are there to help the managers make decisions. These systems do not make decisions themselves, but they provide information and data in such a manner that they help the decision makers come up to a certain decisions and do different judgments. So these decision support systems are built in a way to provide support for various problem solving phases. ये intelligence, design, choice and implementation की जो बात की थी, as well as different kind of decision frequencies कि किस किस्म के decisions हैं, either it's a kind of decision जो कि daily basis के ऊपर लेना होता है, या it's a kind of decision that can happen yearly, and different kind of structures as well, decision structures that is either these are semi-structured decisions, unstructured decisions, या highly structured decisions. So these kind of systems are built in such a way so that they can encompass all these decision making phases, frequencies and structure. और इन्हीं topics की detail भी हमने देखी थी. Then again business intelligence का concept दोबारा यहाँ पे आया था, और हमने यहाँ पे बोला था कि business intelligence basically जो है itself is just a term that is used by vendors to sell different kinds of tool, technologies, methodologies. Why? So that they can be used to achieve a certain kind of competitive advantage or to achieve certain kind of business advantage. And this business intelligence is also used in the decision support systems as well. Now we talked about different special purpose DSS, जिसमें group decision support systems थे. Again these had the added functionality. एक तो वही functionality थी जो decision support systems की थी. Added functionality ये थी कि they had the ability to allow different people to do decision in a group. So basically collaborative environment में अगर आप एक किस्म का system use कर रहे हैं, और उस सिस्टम का क्या फ़ायदा है कि जो नेगेटिव बिहेवियर है ग्रुप डिस्कशन का उसको ख़त्म कर रहा है, एंड इट्स बेसिकली फैसिलिटेटिंग द ग्रुप डिस्कशंस इन अ मच बेटर वे. So again executive support systems were used by executives again at a very higher level to help them with what they do, and what the executives do is do all kinds of strategic planning. So defining visions for an organization, for different kinds of strategic planning either on the organization or for the workforce, or to do any kind of strategic control and crisis management. So these are the kind of jobs that the executives do, and these ESS systems basically help the executives with these jobs as well. Right ji. Next we moved on towards the knowledge management. Knowledge management की जब हमने बात की थी, then we started off with defining के knowledge क्या है, उसके ऊपर हमने develop किया था. फिर knowledge management system, why is it being used, and then we moved on to different techniques and different kinds of knowledge management systems used in the organization, and in the end we talked about the expert systems. Right. So why we started talking about the knowledge is because it was important to understand कि knowledge management के अंदर ये जो word knowledge है, what does it actually mean, and what does it mean in terms of an organization. So for that we explained what knowledge is in terms of in the context of an organization and its different dimensions when it is being used in an organization. And the basic purpose of actually having these knowledge management systems is to retain that knowledge acquired in the organization and to keep it for the coming generation as well. So for an organization, knowledge is very important. Why? Because knowing how to do things efficiently is a primary source of profit and competitive advantage. If an organization knows that this is how to do things in a better way, then this is their knowledge, and this needs to be protected. And this in turn is going to give them profit and give them competitive advantage. Right, that's why there were knowledge management systems in the organizations, so that the knowledge the companies have gathered needs to be retained in the knowledge management systems. And what do these systems do? They were basically doing four things: creating, storing, sharing, and providing opportunities to utilize the knowledge that was being stored or created. So again, these were very important aspects of the knowledge management system, that creating, storing, sharing, using, and then we went into the detail of this topic के जो knowledge management systems हैं या organizations जो हैं वो इस system को use करके किस तरह acquire कर रही हैं, किस तरह store कर रही हैं या use कर रही हैं knowledge को. Right, the next important point was concerning the artificial intelligence, that these artificial intelligence systems form a diverse set of systems that can replicate human decision making for certain types of well-defined problems. So again, artificial intelligence can be used, and there are many applications of artificial intelligence that are being used in the organizations as well. For example, the very important term of artificial intelligence is neural networks या robotics. ये उसकी different branches हैं that are being used in the manufacturing department as well. Different industries के manufacturing departments, for example, car manufacturing में ये बहुत ज़्यादा use होता है. And then when we talked about artificial intelligence, तो हम expert systems की तरफ गए थे, and we said that they can be used in different kinds of medical diagnosis, crisis management, different plant and manufacturing layout में, credit granting and loan analysis में. So because these have a wide variety of applications, again we looked into the detail of the expert system, its working, its functions, and what are the advantages of using the expert system. इसके अलावा we also looked at how the expert systems work, and in the end the actual beneficiary of the expert system is the knowledge user. So it can be used by any novice. वो expert system use करके he can make better decisions, or he can make better judgments by using the expert system. Right जी. So this is where we ended our module 3, जिसमें हमने सारे information systems के different functionalities को देखा था, and their working as well as their advantages as well as their applications. Then we moved on to a very different chapter, जिसमें module 4 था, that was about systems development. That is कि we started looking at how the information systems are developed, और उसके different phases क्या थे. So the first step in doing so was to say that we have to consider the information development as a project and manage the project, and we said that managing the project is important. This is what we learned in that chapter, and also learned that a high rate of failure among the information system projects is due to inadequate project management. अगर सही project management नहीं हुई, that would result in a high rate of failure for the information system project. Therefore, it's very important to have the knowledge about managing information projects as well as the causes of failure. So there were different consequences जब project management सही नहीं होती of these kind of systems projects, तो उसके different consequences भी हो सकते हैं. And when you have different problems in, for example, the format of the website, or different kinds of output problems, या अगर different kinds of data entry errors आ रहे हैं, या किसी भी किस्म का problem हो सकता है, or if the data is inconsistent or the design is poor, then ये different consequences हैं of कि आपने project management जो है वो सही नहीं की. That's why it's important to treat that systems development as a project, and to apply the project management rules and techniques on that systems development project. So the first step in doing so is that linking the systems project plans with the business plan of the organization is very much stressed here. और यही वाली सारी चीज़ हमने आगे भी पढ़ी थी when we were doing the actual process of the system development, that the very important point is कि आपके जो information system के जो goals हैं, जो उसके objectives हैं, that this is what the information system is going to achieve, और ये उसका सारा result होगा, that has to be aligned with the, or that has to be in correspondence with the business goals. That if the organization needs to achieve competitive advantage, the information system needs to do certain things to do so. वो competitive advantage information systems किस तरह provide कर रहा है, this is what the development team needs to think about. Also, successful systems development is dependent on change management. अगर तो system development successful करनी है, then the very important factor is the change management. Again, ये वाली चीज़ हमने first chapter में भी बोली थी, that implementing any kind of information system basically has a behavioral and organizational impact as well. So it's very important कि आप जो technical aspects देख रहे हैं information system के, आप उस technology के social या behavioral aspects भी देखेंगे whenever you are implementing any kind of new technology in the organization. That's why you have to go for the socio-technical design again. Right. Another important point for the system development is that success, एक तो ये चीज़ कि success is based on change management as well. Success of a system development is also based on team efforts and careful planning as well. Team effort means that there are different team members in that are part of the development team, where system analyst, as you can see in the diagram, is in the center of the whole development team, and he or she is basically communicating with the different users, stakeholders, programmers, or technical specialists that are part of the development team. So communication and understanding between the team is very much stressed. Also, careful planning, again, is the same concept here, that unless and until careful planning nahi hogi, aapka system jo hai, that won't be used for a longer period of time. So careful planning results in longer range use of the IT, information technology, as well as the information systems resources as well. And that can again be used to achieve competitive advantage. Careful planning, agar aap kar rahe hain, again, wahi wali example ke information systems have to achieve a certain kind of competitive advantage if this is the organization's goals. Then afterwards we move towards the actual system development, जिसमें different phases को हमने देखा था, investigation देखी थी, analysis देखा था, design देखा था, implementation as well as maintenance. And we said these different phases, either they happen in a traditional cycle, or they happen through prototyping or RAD or different kinds of other techniques, but basically yahi wale steps follow hote hain. And this is a cycle because you can move back to the step, or the cycle can start once more after a year or whenever the review ends. Right, again, system investigation, because we are taking it in a problem solving approach, is about understanding and identifying the problem as well as the opportunities for which you need to start the system development cycle. Right, next is analysis, means that what the system must do or what the system needs to do to solve that certain problem. System design was all about how should the system solve the problem, like that means what is the system going to do to solve the problem. To uske jo how aspect hai of the functional aspect or the hardware and software specification aspects comes in this design. Then comes the implementation of the solution, whatever is the selected design, wo sari cheez implement hoti hai. Either it consists of acquiring the hardware and software, or it is training the users or the technical staff, or it's actually starting the programming or outsourcing the programming. ये सारी चीज़ें implementation में आ जाती हैं. Then we move towards evaluating the working of the new solution, that is review, maintenance, systems maintenance और review में सब कुछ आ जाता है, that if the system is working fine or the system is review में ये चीज़ देखते हैं. So review में ये चीज़ देखते हैं if the system is creating the benefits and the performance that was actually perceived or not, and not, then it has to go to the system development cycle starts all over again. So this is basically a simple problem solving technique जिसको उन्होंने system development steps में divide किया हुआ है. Next we look at the different outputs of the different system development cycle के जो different outputs थे. Number one was the systems request form, जो कि system investigation को शुरू करने से पहले आता है. That means the system planning, or for example whenever the system is initiated, जिसमें हमने बोला था कि systems जो हैं वो system development cycle जो है वो different reasons की वजह से initiate हो सकता है. Either there is a problem, or the company wants to achieve competitive advantage, or the company wants to employ different kind of new technologies, or there are different kinds of problems that can occur, जिसकी वजह से system request form generate किया जाता है या लिखा जाता है. Afterwards, this system request form goes into the investigation phase, and the feasibility analysis report or the system investigation report is generated. So the result of the system investigation phase is this feasibility report. This goes into the system analysis, after which again यहाँ पे a decision होता है, either the project can be done or it can be dropped or it can be delayed, इस किस्म की चीज़ें. Then this report goes into the analysis phase, and after which deeper analysis होता है सिस्टम का, जिसमें देखा जाता है कि उसके एक्चुअल रीज़न क्या है, एग्जिस्टिंग प्रॉब्लम के वीकनेसेस, स्ट्रेंथ्स क्या हैं, यूज़र रिक्वायरमेंट्स क्या हैं, एंड द डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ वेरियस सॉल्यूशंस दैट कैन बी गिवन are given in the system analysis report. This report then goes into the design phase, after which उसके जो technical और physical design create होता है, and the result of the design phase is the system specifications that define how the system is going to be working, as well as the contract. If there are different kinds of hardware or software that needs to be acquired from different vendors, तो उनके दरमियान जो contract लिखा जाता है, that is again a result of the system's design phase. Right जी. Then these two documents move into the system implementation phase, और वहाँ पे जाके वो सारी implementation होती है, programming होती है, software code अगर लिखा जा रहा है, acquire किया जा रहा है, and उसके साथ जो भी documentation that is written down. Either it's the user documentation or the technical documentation, that is the final documentation that is created for that information system or for the software that is written for the information system. And then again, all of this goes into the maintenance and review. जो भी review करेगा system के, he is going to look at these different reports and figure out again that either the problem needs to be solved, या उसका version निकालना है, या उसका कोई patch निकालना है, etc. etc. Right जी. After that module 4 जिसमें हमने system development सारी देख ली थी, then we moved on to the next module 5 जिसमें एक ही chapter हमने देखा था, that was about the information systems in the business and the society. And उसके basic point यही था that information system has ethical, social and political impacts. That is because information system में जो technology use हो रही है, that is a newer technology, and there are not already made standards या already made regulations and laws for that. That's why this technology can be easily misused and it can be easily sabotaged. So this was again either this can happen in an unethical way or this can happen in an illegal way. So that's why moral dimensions of the information systems जो हमने सारे पढ़े थे, again these were to emphasize that these need to be considered when deploying any kind of technology in the organization. So that is कि उसके सिर्फ crime से related problems ही नहीं थे, and in fact there were different kinds of negative consequences that had social impacts as well, that had impacts on the family life, that had impact on the health, as well as the different ways people are now dealing with work as well. So इसके अलावा the very important point stressed in that chapter was that the computer crime again is a very serious and rapidly growing area of concern, and it requires management attention as well as government regulations as well. So again there needs to be certain government regulations and laws made so that people are aware of these security policies that the organization has. So organizations need to develop certain security policies, governments need to develop regulations and laws so that people are aware, that can become aware कि इस किस्म का crime या इस किस्म की unethical behavior, इस किस्म का illegal behavior by the use of technology needs that somebody is responsible for that act, and उस बंदे को उस चीज़ की punishment मिलनी चाहिए कि technology का जो misuse है, that is again illegal and it is unethical in different terms as well. जिस तरह हमने spamming की example थी जिस तरह हमने example दी थी कि websites के ऊपर offensive content अगर आ जाता है, again who is responsible for that. So all of these things need to be sort of formulated, need to be documented, and need to be regulated as a law as well. That's why organizations need to develop sometimes their own security policies, that either this thing is authenticated, this thing is authorized, this the people can do, and if somebody else is going against that authority or going against those procedures, then he or she is liable and he or she is accountable for those acts. So this is where we're going to end this lecture today. In today's lecture, we basically revised the basic concepts that were the main concepts, the main points of the different modules that were taught throughout the course. That is कि information systems से related हमने 5 modules पढ़े थे, all catering to different concepts, और उन सारे concepts को हमने revise किया. इसके अलावा जो आपके जो topics वगैरह हैं वो सारे detail में you can study them as well. आपको जो notes दिए गए हैं उनके through. Also, when you can also study them through the different kinds of assignments that are given to you, and you can prepare for the examinations through those assignments as well. So this is all for today. Thank you very much.